You want to move on to the main?
Yeah, I want to move on to our dystopian future today.
Woohoo! You're paying for it, or they're paying for it. You eat it. Anyway, kill switch engaged. What does that mean?
Government would like to. They would like to engage your kill switch.
Diver! You've been down too long in the midnight sea.
Oh, what's becoming of thee?
Sorry.
Is that a kill switch song?
It's a cover of a Ronnie James Dio.
7 out of the 10 words in that sentence, I don't even know.
Holy Diver! It's Holy Diver.
Okay.
By Ronnie James Dio. But it was covered by Kill Switch. Engaged.
I mean, good. It's good job.
The more you know.
Anyway, we're not talking about the band. What we are talking about is something that I learned a few days ago from Thomas Massie, from following him on X. And, you know, I by no means am know every single thing that's going on in the political sphere and all of the ways that we're being screwed. I mean, I'm highly cynical and skeptical of the vast majority of it. But even for as, plugged in, for lack of a better term, as I am into a lot of these subjects, I didn't know about this until a few days ago. And because you won't hear anything like, they wouldn't touch this story with a 10-foot pole on MSNBC, CNN, Fox, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the LA Times, the Chicago Tribune, like
the disgusting
no mainstream acceptable source that you're allowed to get your opinions from would ever touch this story. So good on Thomas Massie for bringing it up and bringing it to more people's attention. I'm one of them because I didn't realize it. But unbeknownst to almost all of us, back in 2021, in one of those multi-thousand-page bills that the people that vote on it never read, buried in there was a law for the government to mandate that all cars built after or in 2026 or thereafter have a kill switch installed, which would allow for the car to be turned off remotely. Now, the ostensible purpose for this, because again, as we always say on this podcast, when an evil bastard wants to rule you, he never says, I want to rule you because I'm an evil bastard.
You should probably kill me because I'm going to try to kill you.
He says he's doing it for your best interest. And that's exactly what, the mouth breathers up on Capitol Hill have said about this. And the purpose of this kill switch is to save people from drunk drivers.
Oh, thank God.
Because if you're driving erratically or you're doing something in your 2026 and newer car that triggers this kill switch that says that this person should not be driving, it will turn your car off. Now, I am sure that there will be some would-be drunk drivers out there for whom this would stop them, and who fucking Ray. However, for every one of them, there will be legions of people who, myself included, have a bit of a lead foot,
even.
Not afraid to admit my flaws.
Droves.
I drive fast. And once the kill switch is in the car, the question, just like we always ask about censorship, who decides what's censored? Once the kill switch is in the car, who decides what is erratic behavior according to the kill switch so that it turns your car off? And then does it stop there? Or does it start with, we're only getting drunk drivers, and then it's, you wanted to attend this rally that we don't approve of, or you have a gun that we don't like.
You're going to a place that is infested with COVID.
Or you had an opinion on some social media that we don't like, and so we're just going to turn off your car and you're not allowed to drive anymore. That's where this always goes. I know the people that listen and watch this show know that, but the vast majority of people that either don't know this happened or, don't have a memory longer than a goldfish don't know that that's where it goes. And this is why we need to be the canaries in the coal mine, ringing the alarm, saying this needs to be stopped. This needs to be killed in its tracks. Somebody needs to kill the kill switch before I drone on any longer.
Someone has to kill the babysitter.
You were really
another quote within a quote.
Holding that in.
Another quote within a quote. That's Cable Guy quoting,
Yeah, it's good.
No, they're
David's Jim Carrey impressions and memory. His little library of Jim Carrey up there. unmatched.
I'm sure there's better. Anywho, the only real question I have about all of this is if I'm going to be sacrificing more of my freedom, is a DUI at least going to be less egregious of a punishment now? Can we just drop it down from like, it goes on my record, I lose my job, to like, hey, knock it off, you crazy kids. Like a slap on the wrist kind of thing. Like as long as I didn't wreck my car.
Yeah, no, of course it never goes in that
Not
direction.
that I would ever drive drunk, but
it never ever goes in that direction.
No. In fact, they probably make it more egregious.
Right.
But then again, I feel like capitalism will rear its beautiful little head again, and smarter people than the government. In fact, if there was going to be something that was going to put a kill switch into your car, you would probably want the government to oversee it, because it's going to be the most rinky-dink thing that doesn't work, and we're going to have plenty of people. You're going to bring it to a shop. You're going to be like, I want my windows tinted. I want upgraded stereo. Oh, and can you take care of that pesky little chip for me? Thanks. I'll be back in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So hopefully the private market will meet the demands of the many, is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, there will absolutely be aftermarket situations to be able to work their way around this. But you know what it's going to start out as. It's going to start out as a mandate, which is exactly what it is.
I can see the commercial now.
The federal government forces not only domestic auto manufacturers, Ford, GM, et cetera, to install a kill switch as it's manufactured, but foreign automakers, Toyota, Honda, et cetera, if they're going to sell cars in the United States, they're American cars. So again, Toyota makes a car in Japan and the car stays in Japan, no kill switch. Car comes over to the United States, and to be compliant with this law, needs to have a kill switch. And that's where it starts. It starts out with a mandate. You got to do it. Eventually, that morphs into, if, as David suggests, the market comes up with a workaround for it, as it always does, because the dumbest people around are the ones that are ruling us, and the smart ones are in the market fixing all of the things that they screw up, is then they'll eventually just make it a felony to tamper with the kill switch. So again, just tack that on to, what was that book? It was something like 5 felonies a day or something, like the average person just going about their daily life, not even trying to break a law, commits that many felonies a day. Well, tack this one onto it. Eventually, that's the direction it will go. Well, Thomas Massie tried to save us from the rest of his dipshit constituents up in Capitol Hill, but the stupidity of these people, if nothing else, their power lies in their numbers and ability to be stupid. Because Massie, just the other day, he put forward an amendment to this, because it's already been passed and signed by the president, so it's a law. This happened in 2021, and it's going to take effect in 2026. Massie put forward an amendment to try to basically kill the baby in the cradle and defund the implementation of this. So it can be a law about the mandate and be on the books all they want, but if the government can't enforce it because it doesn't have any funding, then it goes nowhere. And that's what Massie tried to do. Well, unfortunately, his measure was defeated, 201 to 209 in the House, because Democrats voted as a block to make sure that the kill switch gets fully funded, because again, we're just swimming in cash.
They do stick together, don't they?
And 19 Republicans. So, and again, I don't have those names readily at hand, but I'll try to remember to put something down in the show notes in the comments so you can see who these 19 Republicans are, and if they're in your district,
you know what to do.
Exactly. 19.
Not violence, just.
Nobody's going to take it like that until you said it.
You gotta.
Anyway, 19 Republicans turned coat and voted along with the Democrats and made sure that they killed Massie's bill. And one more thing that I wanted to point out, because it's the next thing in this article, is, and because we've talked about this in other examples before, is I'm just going to read this next paragraph. It's really short. It's only a sentence. It says, quote, "Proponents say the technology will save thousands of lives by preventing drunk driving." Get this, which has generally been on the decline for 3 decades, but contributed to more than 13,000 fatal auto accidents in 2021. So if you remember, we've talked about this several times, and one of the big ones is the Great Society programs, right? About shrinking the wealth gap between Black Americans and white Americans. And we talked about how Black Americans were making great strides before the Great Society programs. And then after those programs were passed, they stagnated or fell, such that within the next 10 years, if left alone, they would have reached parity with white Americans. But the government just can't be having that because they need their divide and conquer strategy. So they said, we're going to help Black Americans, and then kept them in perpetual
the exact opposite.
Poverty. Exactly. But they take the government takes credit for trends that were happening before the government did anything. And again, you need to pass, like, I think 5th grade, you learn about causality and a causality chain. And what happens is the thing that comes first cause the thing that comes second. So if drunk driving has been on the decline, drunk driving and deaths therefrom have been on the decline for 3 decades, now the government is going to put its kill switch in. And then if drunk driving continues to fall, they're going to say, see, we fixed it. It was all us. It wasn't you, the average citizen, that were driving drunk less on average on your own without the government doing anything. It was our kill switch. We fixed it. We're going to take all the credit for it. And that's why you need to give us more power and let us do whatever we want in the future. Again, pay attention to when they do this stupid shit, because it's going to be their arguments of the future to do the next round of stupid shit, which slowly erodes away at your freedom little by little by little.